Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 24th. This week, definitely check out astrojar.com for more awesome readers and astrologers. But let's see what comes up for you here. Yeah, definitely kind of what I thought. Looks like an amazing week for you. You start off with the Nine of Hearts, card of wishes, getting something you wish for. I do think that it's a little bit of a maybe a more like transformative internal week for you, where you're kind of like focused on yourself, maybe, or changing things about yourself, or looking at areas where you could strengthen yourself. I think that's been a theme for you for a while, but definitely a good card for changes. Actually, every single one of your cards here could loosely represent changes, maybe not like 100%. I wouldn't say these are like traditional meanings of the cards, but even just kind of like what I'm feeling, I think it could be a week of changes for you. Nine of Hearts card represents also changes in relationships and experiencing kind of new relationship cycles. Nines can represent the ending of cycles, things coming to an end. So there definitely could be some very good changes for you, especially in relationships with this card. Next, you have the Seven of Diamonds, worrying about money that you don't need to worry about. Seven of Diamonds, I always say, could have $1 million, $10 million in the bank, and you're still worried about money with this card. It says let those fears go. Mostly old fears, old things coming back up to kind of cause anxiety or worries and things like that inside of you. Definitely seems to be an anxious week. I think several signs have had that message about anxiety, taking care not to be anxious about things that are out of your control, or just don't even exist in the first place. Next, we have the Five of Diamonds. Very, very good card for starting new things, starting anything new, really. Even though it's a Diamonds card, could represent a new relationship starting, or new friendship, new group of people to work with, all sorts of things like that. But definitely represents a good time to start a new business, start new jobs and things like that. Even though it's a Mercury retrograde, could still be a good time to do that. I always tell people, always say, oh, I can't start anything during a Mercury retrograde. Well, the problem with that is Mercury goes retrograde about, every 12 weeks, right, out of the year, about every 12 weeks, I should say. And, happens 3 times a year, and then we're like always in the shadow and, all this other stuff. So, I always tell people to be careful of letting astrology control your life, because, you never know. You could start something great. I always tell people the story about, how I lost one of my old businesses that I had, and I needed to pay my car payment, and I had no money, and I started another business during the Mercury retrograde, and that business didn't last. So yeah, the retrograde maybe took it away, or whatever you want to say, because it pretty much only made me enough to pay for my car. But hey, look, you know what? I was able to pay for my car at that time because I started that business. So again, I always tell people, you never know. Just because it's retrograde doesn't mean you shouldn't start something, because you never know. It could be very helpful. It could teach you something like that. Next, we have the King of Spades. Very good card. King of Spades, very interestingly, on this deck, has chopped the head off of this snake here. And on the Jack of Spades and the Queen of Spades in this deck, the snake is wrapped around their body. Represents that they haven't figured out that their problems are their own. And, the King of Spades is kind of a card of mastery, justice, and overcoming your own problems, your own obstacles, and fixing those things. I would say maybe because of this new moon that will be happening this week, that you could be really focused on things like slaying your demons and taking, kind of making changes at this time to kind of make yourself better in a lot of ways. Maybe very focused on personal development. I've said it a million times. This is very much a personal development year, at least to me. Libra, Jupiter in Libra, to me, just represents, it can represent a lot of things, but to me, when we really like boil it down, it can represent personal development, making changes in yourself, and making yourself the best you possibly can be, which is this card. And finally, here we have the Nine of Clubs, card of achievements, recognition, overcoming obstacles, and also opportunities as well. This card says take advantage of as many opportunities as you can at this time. And it also says create your own opportunities. This is like a card where I always say probably a good time to brag about yourself at work to your boss. Maybe you need to tell your boss, like, look at all this like extra work that I do, and then your boss will be like, oh, well, you need a promotion or something like that. Or it's also a card like at work, same thing. You know, if you see extra things that need to be done, it's a card of taking those opportunities, do the extra things, then you'll get a bonus. Same thing in business, do the extra stuff. Same thing in relationships, do the extra work, because this card can bring in major rewards and a lot of goal reaching, I should say. So definitely one of my favorite cards here. Also an amazing card if you're on social media, if you do YouTube or anything. Like I said, it's a card of recognition, so it could be you being recognized for a job well done. But looks like a great week. Like I said, I think it's mostly about you, kind of, you know, making yourself stronger, better, whatever you want to call it, and kind of reaching some goals because of that. So thank you for watching, and enjoy your week.